Welcome to the Thursday night preview show for this week. Thursday night football special. The Dolphins are going up against the Bills, but let's start back at last week. Wow, last Thursday night, what an amazing game. Absolutely phenomenal. Kansas City and the Baltimore Ravens. Kansas City wins the game. Baltimore comes within a toe of winning the game. Just couldn't get it done. Maybe have smaller feet. Dion might have had a touchdown there. We just don't know. Moving forward to Friday night, the Philadelphia Eagles handle business against the Green Bay Packers, and Jordan Love goes down. Looks like he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. But, you know, the two teams that from the AFC that played great last year in the championship game are back at it again. Had a great game Thursday night. The Eagles, a formidable team in the NFC, they look like they're holding on to their business as we move forward to Sunday last week. Had some weird games going on. A lot of double-digit teams down double digits and came back and won. The Bears, Miami, and Buffalo are three of them. Speaking of Miami, they beat Jacksonville 2017 on a last-second field goal. Big story there is Tyreek Hill was arrested or detained before the game, however you want to see it. And Jacksonville is going to be the European team of the future. They have at least 2 games moving forward for the next few years, looking at adding almost 16 games not in the United States from Roger Goodell, which means that Jacksonville will probably have 2, 3, maybe even 4 over there. That would be just absolutely insane. Buffalo gets it done with Star-Lord, quarterback, 28-34 over Arizona. Josh Allen's wrist is hurt. Oh, man. He's got to face the Dolphins tonight, who don't have a great defense but look to get it done on the offensive side of the ball with the big boys. But his Guardians of the Galaxy will maybe try and help him, but without Stephon Diggs, there is no offense in Buffalo. New England and Cincinnati, this was upset of the week, took Cincinnati in the survivor pool. Boom, Cincinnati sucks. Joe Burrow, terrible. $55 million contract for nothing. 16-10. They're 1-8 when Joe Burrow starts in the first few games of the season here. That is a Tallman stat for Thursday Night Football. Minnesota and New York. Danny Dimes is terrible. Like I said in the pod, he's got more pick sixes than he does touchdowns since he signed his $40 million a year contract. They go down 28-6 to Minnesota. Tennessee, Chicago. Tennessee lets them off the hook 24-17. Caleb Williams looks terrible in his debut. Bryce Young still looks awful. He wishes he had an A on his helmet and not a goofy-looking Black Panther. 47-10. New Orleans takes that game. Atlanta and Pittsburgh, 18-10. Pittsburgh's will get it done. It doesn't matter what you do to Mike Tomlin. He finds a way to get it done. Justin Fields isn't the answer. Russell Wilson isn't the answer. Didn't play. He's injured. Might be injured again this week. Moving forward to Houston and Indianapolis. Should have been a great game. 2 rookie quarterbacks from last year in their second year. C.J. Stroud gets the better of it. 29-27 Houston over Indianapolis. Oakland and San Diego. Oakland might as well just stay at home in Vegas, go to the craps table, maybe hit the blackjacks with Matt Brueggemann because they got pounded. 22-10. Jim Harbaugh's first win. Justin Herbert had some nice plays out there, but 22-10 over Oakland. That's a great way to start their season, especially in the AFC West. Herbert, like I said, had some good plays, but nothing great. Harbaugh gets his first win. Then you go to an NFC West, AFC West showdown in Denver and Seattle. Bo Nix, another rookie quarterback, just not playing to potential. 26-20. Seattle comes away with the win. Bo Nix has a lot of work to do to be as good as he was at winning in college, at winning in the NFL. Just not the same up here when you get to the big time in the NFL. Then you have the game of the week, pitting 2 of our listeners against each other. Tallman Stats versus Matt Brueggemann's Dukies in Cleveland. Dallas versus Cleveland, 33-17. Interceptions helped Dallas. Dak didn't really do too much. The offense wasn't that great, but Deshaun Watson, talk about paying somebody for nothing. He has, I think, a year or 2 left, as I talked to Brueggemann last night about it. Boy, they'll be glad in Cleveland when they get rid of him. Wish they had Baker Mayfield back because let me tell you, he put on a show in Tampa Bay this past week when he played the Washington Commanders, who look abysmal on defense. Their corners can't stop anything. They didn't double Mike Evans enough. He gets a couple of touchdowns. Washington looks like they're going to be on the same path last year. They might get 6 wins, but they look horrendous. Look to bounce back this week at home against the New York Giants. All the hype for Jaden Daniels, as his running game was fine, his passing game, again, just horrible. Your number 1 receiver didn't have a catch before halftime. Is Baker Mayfield back? We'll find out. They face the Chiefs this week, I believe. Then you have the Rams versus Detroit. Overtime thriller, 26-20. Detroit wins that game. What a great game. And then you had Monday Night Football. Aaron shows up in San Francisco, hometown boy shows up to face the 49ers against the underpaid, undervalued Brock Purdy. And guess what? Let me tell you something. Aaron, old Rodgers, you need to hang it up. You're slow. You're pitiful. Didn't get much done on the offensive side of the ball. And regardless of what everybody thinks, Tiger Woods hits great shots from time to time too. But he ain't winning a major anytime soon. You're not doing anything for the team. You're holding up a franchise that has been horrible for years. Let it go. Move on. You have a great offensive scheme. You have a great offensive system. You have great players. You have a defense that should be ranked in the top 3. And San Francisco scored on 8 consecutive drives. Now, they held them to 6 field goals, which means you've got to score touchdowns to differentiate. 1 touchdown is 2 field goals. If you'd have put something in the end zone, if you'd have done something correctly Monday night, you'd have had a chance. But the Jets take it on the head. Miami's 1-0. New England's 1-0. Buffalo's 1-0. And the Jets are 0-1, sitting in last place in the East. I hope I can say that every week this year. Every week that the Jets are in last place. Moving on to this week's games, and it's specifically tonight for Thursday Night Football. Not on cable television. No, but a streaming service, as all football will be at some point in the next 5 years. It will be there. Let me tell you something. The Bills are coming to Miami to get blown out. Tua Tagovailoa might have 350 yards tonight. Tyreek Hill will have another 150. Maybe 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle will have a touchdown. Mostert is out. So our backup running back chain will get it done. We'll have a rushing touchdown. Tua might have a rushing touchdown. Defensively, we'll have to show up. Although without Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Star-Lord, has nothing. If you don't get the Star-Lord reference, go check out Guardians of the Galaxy or any of the latest Avengers movies, as he looks exactly like Star-Lord. But let me tell you, the Dolphins come away with a win. The line's -2.5, and they will definitely be above that, maybe a touchdown or 2. As we move on to Sunday, you've got some games this week. You got Baltimore at home against the Raiders. That's going to be a walk. Not really hard for them as long as they show up, maybe get Zay Flowers involved some more. It's going to be a great game for Lamar Jackson. He should come away with a couple touchdowns, 1 throwing, 1 running at least. The Ravens take it to the Raiders. Go on to the Brownies. I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to show up again. Jacksonville gets the first win of the season. They beat the Browns at home in Jacksonville. Jets versus the Titans. The Titans have a good defense. Can they shut down Aaron just like the 49ers did? Who knows? But I'm picking the Jets this week. Aaron Rodgers shows up, uses his offensive weapons, and the defense for the Jets shuts down a problematic offense for the Titans. 49ers and Vikings, there's absolutely no chance that Minnesota shows up. They're in a dome. 49ers don't need to be outside in the cold. Not that it's cold yet in September, maybe in Minnesota, but it's not crisp Santa Clara temperature out there. The 49ers come away with a win, probably by 2 touchdowns. Brock Purdy gets it done. Whether McCaffrey's there or not, their backup running back is just as good. Moving on to Carolina, the Panthers are hosting the Chargers. Holy smoke, this is going to be a terrible game. Jim Harbaugh is going to start out 2-0 with his second NFL team. Justin Herbert's going to start out 2-0. Probably lights up this Panthers defense. Bryce Young is still horrible. He has got to get better. The few Alabama quarterbacks that have come out in the last 5 years have all been horrible, with the exception of Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. And those two are on teams that look to win their division every year. We move forward to the Patriots at a home game hosting the Seahawks. Seahawks are going to come in there and show the Patriots what they really are, which is not a team that should beat Cincinnati at any given point of any time in any year, with Joe Burrow at quarterback. And the Seahawks are going to handle business with Geno Smith and take care of Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots. Looks like it should be a good game, but Seattle's going to get it done in the fourth quarter, maybe a double-digit lead there in the fourth quarter. The Saints and the Cowboys, I can tell you the Aints aren't going to show up for New Orleans this year. This game specifically, as the Cowboys look to roll, and Dak Prescott says, I got paid, let me show you why. No Super Bowl bound for him. He's still got to go through San Francisco, but he's going to take him at least to the NFC Championship game. I'm calling it now. He's going to figure out his playoff bums and get it done. That's going to be a big win for them. I expect them to win by 3 touchdowns over the Saints. Count it. It's going to happen. Moving on to Detroit, inside against the Buccaneers. Does Baker Mayfield show up for the second week in a row? Does he take care of business with Mike Evans? Does he get a handle on the offense? And can the defense stop the Lions, who aren't necessarily a great team on offense, but they get it done consistently and have been doing it for 2 to 3 years now and will continue to do so as they beat the Buccaneers in a 3-point game, Detroit Lions over Tampa Bay. Then we go down to the Packers without Jordan Love in Green Bay against the Indianapolis Colts with a quarterback who can absolutely run up and down the field, who has a cannon, can throw the ball. What's going to happen here? Well, Indianapolis is going to march into Green Bay and show them why they should have gotten rid of Love and picked up Richardson when he was available in the draft, because Love is out, Richardson's there, and he's going to show everybody that even though he was injured last year, he can get it done. Remember, when these quarterbacks get drafted in the first round, their team normally sucks. And that's why they're being drafted in the first round in the top 15. So let's give Richardson some due. It's his second season, see what he can do with the Colts. But I believe they're going to win this week. It's going to be a big-time loss for the Packers as Jordan Love sits on the sidelines in a jersey like Russell Wilson last week. We'll have to see. What a crazy scheme that was. Moving forward to a NFC West opponent right now, the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams square off in Arizona. Kyler Murray doesn't get it done again, no matter how much he's up by. The Bills came back on him last week. The Rams will be ahead most of the game. You look at what they did against the Detroit Lions last week. The Rams have a plan with an old quarterback. The Jets do not. I'm going to beat up on the Jets, Jets all day long. Matthew Stafford gets it done. The Arizona Cardinals fall to 0-2. The Rams go to 1-1. Moving on to a revenge game for Russell Wilson against the Broncos. He won't be there. He'll probably be on the sideline in his shoulder pads and jersey again for no reason because he's already cleared out. Justin Fields goes into Denver and gets beat. Gives Bo Nix his first win. Mike Tomlin doesn't figure it out. The Mile High Stadium, they can't breathe. They don't know what to do. More action, don't know how to handle it. The Broncos come away with a win by 3 points in the final seconds. They kick the field goal. Moving forward, the Bungles with Joe Burrow, who is Joe A-Pipe, goes against the Chiefs in Kansas City. I'm telling you, I can't say enough about the Bungles, how bad they really are in the first 2 weeks of the season. If the Chiefs are favored by 35, you give the Bengals the points. The Chiefs are going to win by 36 or 37 if they light them up. Got to get Travis Kelce involved. Taylor Swift won all the awards this week. Make sure Travis Kelce appeases his girlfriend, does some good things, maybe takes home some touchdown balls this weekend. The Chiefs by 4? No. We're going to give them by 13 points against the Bengals. I just don't think that the Bengals have anything right now. They can't figure it out. Bunch of discernment amongst the team with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow not getting it done. Joe Burrow's getting a lot of questions this week about his wrist. He's a little limp there from the surgery last year. Let's see what happens. But the Chiefs are going to win by 13 plus. Go Kansas City. Moving on to your Sunday night football, you've got the Houston Texans, one of my favorite teams to watch, with C.J. Stroud and how he lights them up against the abysmal, my unc's favorite team, Chicago. We suck Bears. They are going to have a top 5 pick again next season at the draft. Caleb Williams, it didn't throw over 100 yards this past weekend. He won't get 100 yards here. The Houston Texans roll over the Bears 21-3. Then we move on to the Monday Night Football game. This game would be epic if Kirk Cousins could show up, but he cannot. The Atlanta Falcons are worse than they were last year, and last year they were pretty abysmal. But let me tell you something. Philadelphia is going to roll in there. They won't need the tush push as much unless they're trying to score from the 1-yard line, because they are going to destroy the Atlanta Falcons at home in Philly. It's going to be a great game for Jalen Hurts and company. Saquon Barkley had 3 touchdowns last week. He's going to get 2 this week. Count it. It's going to happen. A.J. Brown's going to have a touchdown. Devontae Smith's going to have a touchdown, and Jalen Hurts is going to have a touchdown. So that's 35 points. The Falcons can't score more than 12, so they're at least going to beat them by 3 touchdowns. 21-point victory or more for the Eagles, and that is it. Monday Night Football. We look to be back next Thursday night. We'll check it out, see how this week goes. Those are my picks for the Pick'em. There is no more Survivor pool since Cincinnati showed up laid an egg last week. My Dolphins are going to take care of business tonight against the Bills. Old Star-Lord's going to get sacked. He might run a few times, but he's going to be running for his life. That's all I can tell you. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy your Thursday night football. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We will talk to you next week, next Thursday morning, and next Thursday evening for the Up and Running Pod. You can find us on X at BamaTurk46, at Up and Running Pod. Have a good night. We'll talk to you.